Peki bir virgül daha koyuyorum. Bir kez daha Londra'ya gidiyorum. Londra'da Berenberg gelişen piyasalar hisse senedi stratejisti Carsten Hesse bizleri bekliyor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I would like to start with the recent correction among developed market equities. We just saw a 3 days of pullback, and now today we see some risk appetite once more. Do you believe that is going to face the same direction at emerging market equities as well?
Well, I believe that emerging markets have more upside potential than developed markets equities, mainly 3 reasons. Firstly, emerging market equities are cheaper. They trade with around 25% discount to developed market equities. Second reason is corporate earnings growth. Emerging market corporates having higher earnings growth over the next 2 years than developed market corporates. And thirdly, we believe that the global reflation trade will lead to more money going into equities from bonds and therefore help emerging market equities to push higher.
That is important, and also when we look at Turkey, Turkish equities were discounted both when we look at the 5-year averages or 10-year averages, or when we compare it with other emerging markets, for example, MSCI Emerging Markets Index. What do you expect? Do you expect a catch-up for Turkish equities as well, although we just saw around 14% of a jump in the recent 2 weeks?
Yes, well, with Turkish equities, one has to look at the performance in Turkish lira terms, which has been fantastic. But international investors, they look at the performance more in US dollar terms, and there the performance has not been that great. And I think there are mainly 2 reasons why the performance in US dollar terms is not going to be as great as other emerging markets, and that's firstly because of economic and geopolitical uncertainties, and also secondly, international investors are already very much overweight Turkish equities by around 90% compared to the benchmark. So I believe there could be some selling pressure around, but that doesn't mean that in Turkish lira terms Turkish equities cannot perform well.
And a last question. Also, Turkish lira is underperforming other emerging market currencies as well. When you look at the risk appetite for equities, does it bring out some opportunity when you look at the current level of Turkish lira? You just exchange your rate, exchange your dollar from a higher level and buy Turkish equities at a cheaper level. Does it bring out more appetite?
Well, I think that Turkish equities are a great inflation hedge for local investors, and also there are a lot of Turkish companies, especially export companies, which profit from the weaker lira, so they are the ones that will continue to perform well. For international investors, the strong or the high volatility in the Turkish lira is a concern, so I think they are going to wait before they're going to invest.
Carsten Hesse, thank you very much for joining us today.
More than welcome.
Evet, Londra'dan aldığımız görüşler böyle. Kısa